Good morning, everyone. Justin from Critical Pain Studios here. We are continuing on with the commission at hand, which is the Viva la KRIEG army, as I've come to know them. Now, I finished off the previous one and posted photos of that. This one is the medic, who looks like he could be a poison monger. I just need to check something quickly. Okay, good. Okay, so we finished painting. We've done the little decals. We're up to the weathering phase, so we're going to go through and do some enamel wash weathering. We've got Goons Grime and Decrepit Filth from Villainy Inc. Goons Grime is a sort of a soft greenish brown, much like the petroleum paint from Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl. And Decrepit Filth is a dark brown, very akin to the Garax Sewer from Citadel. Now, I'm using these over those because of the various effects that you can get through these as opposed to using a normal acrylic paint. These are enamel washes, so big important thing with these is you must completely seal your model first, or you run the risk of, when you do the reductive weathering, i.e. taking off paint with white spirit, that it will eat through and strip your model, basically. So this has been painted, this has been sealed, and we're moving on to this next step. So I'll just make sure that I'm not talking to myself. So checking that out. Okay, cool. We have sound. Cool. So we're starting out with the Goons Grime. That's it just there. That's from Villainy Inc. from Grimdark Compendium. A very nice company with some beautiful washes. If you get the chance to pick these up, I very much suggest you do so. And there's an ad starting, so I'll see you all on the other side. So 10 seconds on that ad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. First ad break of the day. Gotta let Bezos get his money somehow. Poor unfortunate soul. Okay, so we're going to start off with the decrepit filth. Wondering what the noise is, but that's probably my wife taking my dog out. Okay, so this stuff has quite a capillary action to it, so I generally only put it right down the very bottom of any base work. And I apply in a stippling fashion so we can get little build-ups. This will give us a little bit of life to our muddy texture. Now, the good thing about this stuff is it's got quite a long working time, as opposed to working with acrylics, for example. You're limited to a quick drying time with acrylics, whereas with this stuff, you get a lot more time, like hours as opposed to minutes. You can already see some of that build up around the base there. Now we're just going to let that sit for a minute and do its thing. Another good reason to seal your models also is this is an enamel, so it has thinner base, a methylated spirit base to it. And that spirit base will also eat away at your paint if left sitting on a model for too long. But because we've sealed it with a good quality sealer. I use the Tamiya TS80. We don't have that problem. So our next step is we'll start to draw some of that down. To our base. Actually, I want to get a bit along the bottom of here as well. Just going in now with the Goon's Grime. Now, we'll apply this a bit more liberally because it acts as a bit of a dusting coat as well. I generally find you can go a lot higher with this. It's good for adding wear and tear here and there. Okay, so now that we've laid down just a little bit of dirt and grime, I'm going to seal that in and dry it off. So, actually, a bit on this dude. So, I'll just mute the microphone for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's sped up in the drying process just a touch. So now we can go in and lightly pull back some of that aging across the model. As you can see, it's very subtle, it's still a bit wet, but once that dries, you'll get this sort of dusty, dirty look over the bottom part of the model and the areas where we've applied it. The client doesn't want it too muddy. Wants them still fairly pristine. Only a tiny bit battle worn, he said. So, and that is our KRIEG Command Squad medic, sporting the medic stripe, the little medic backpack. I really like this model. This is probably my favorite model of the set, of the Command Squad set, I mean. So we'll let him do his thing, and we will get cleaned up and get started on our next piece, which are these little servo skulls. Now these are going to be quick and easy, so I'm setting this up as an offshoot, just a quick little diversion to clear the palette up for myself. Set him over there. Grab some paper towel. So how is everyone today on this fine Tuesday morning? Nobody's talking? That's alright. Welcome aboard at any rate. Let's check and see if we are happening over on YouTube. It says we're live. Yep, Viva the KRIEG, that's the one. Just realised I haven't turned these guys on. There we go. Okay, so servo skulls rolling around with what seems to be a bunch of toilet paper. This is a scroll servitor by the look of it, a scribe servitor. So we're going to do some papyrus coloring, some bone coloring, some metal, and then some mud. So, first off, for our base, going to get one of my favorite go-to colors. So for stuff like this, for bone especially, I like to do a base of brown, not just any brown, brine hide, to be specific. And then I'll build up sort of bone tones and ivories and things like that, etc. Next up well enough. We need a little bit. They're only little guys. And little guys require a little brush. Now, I found myself I got myself some, Golden Maple was kind enough to send me some brushes to try out and review for them. So I'm reviewing them, and I'm reviewing them by doing this squad. Hey, good morning. How you going? You're going to find this hilarious. You know what we were talking about last night in certain companies and their practices of just generally not being very nice and me going after them like a rabid dog? Guess what? A package that had all but disappeared from existence and nobody could tell me where it was on the planet arrived in Sydney this morning. So it's gone from we don't know where it is to the courier company has got it and jump up and down and swear till they're blue in the face that that they don't have it, to it being in the warehouse and not being sent out yet and being on hold for some reason, which no one could tell me why, to manifest update, arrived in Australia, currently clearing customs. So yeah, I find it funny when you jump up and down, say, what the hell is going on? Where is my package? That your package mysteriously appears from being lost in the ether. The supervisor. This one little rogue hair. There, got him. So I responded to the email to the company that organised the shipping insurance. And so it's funny how an unstoppable an immovable object suddenly gains frictionless momentum when met with an unstoppable force. In this case, the immovable object being my package that had all but disappeared off the face of the earth and didn't exist, and the unstoppable force being me. People go, oh, you should be nicer to them, you should be nicer to them, you should be nicer to them, and they're only doing their best and all this stuff. Well, if they were doing their best, I wouldn't have to chase them up. Because it would have shown on the manifests that, yes, it had left mainland China and it had arrived in Sydney, or it was on its way to Sydney. Ridiculous. Companies think they can get away with it. And the only reason they get away with it is people are, oh, but you have to be nice to them. No, you don't have to be nice to them. You've paid money for a product, therefore you should expect said product. If you don't get it, you start jumping up and down. I mean, it was meant to be delivered yesterday. And for them to say, oh, we've got no idea where it is, we can't track it, it's not with any shipping companies, it's not with this, it's not with that. That's crap. They knew exactly where it was and they just didn't bother doing their jobs. And I'm over it. Not on its way today, unfortunately, but I should have it by the end of the week. Considering it's Sydney and it's priority shipping, it should hopefully be here either, what's today, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm thinking Friday at the latest. But yeah, I'm absolutely sick to death of companies pulling this crap all the time. I think it's high time that we, as consumers, learn what our rights are when it comes to stuff like this, and start calling out these companies because it's only going to get worse. Also been having trouble with my configuration of my X tool, and I finally got it sorted with absolutely no help from X tool themselves, because their support structure and their support chat is so horribly broken that you sit in queue for hours on end, and it times out, so you don't actually get any support whatsoever. So in frustration, you turn to the Facebook groups, and people not paid by Xtool the support for the product that they should be providing support for. So like going through the support matrix for the software and the hardware, 90% of the stuff is out of date, and the rest of it points to stuff that doesn't exist anymore, yet it's all current according to Xtool. After 5 minutes on the Facebook group, where no Xtool staff are, mind you, there's no actual Xtool people in these Facebook groups. These are community-based Facebook groups. You find out that the stuff in the guides doesn't work because it doesn't exist, but you also find out that a lot of the stuff in the tutorials and bits and pieces doesn't work and hasn't worked for years. And it's that way in part because these Facebook groups exist, because Xtool know that they don't have to worry about providing support for their devices, because there's people out there doing it for free. And that's part of the problem. Like, I admire and deeply respect people who do this, who stop what they're doing and put their life on hold to support a product, and they're not getting, none of these people are getting paid for it. They're all volunteers. Now, my question is, okay, yes, I understand the mentality of if I don't, somebody else will. But companies need to be held accountable. And like, Xtool has this thing where you become an ambassador, and you teach people and sort of do web meets with people to sell their product. You don't get paid for that. You're doing it for free on your own time, out of your own pocket. Okay, yes, Xtool give you a bit of discount on materials and bits and pieces, but it's far less than what they would need to pay their support staff to do the same thing. So, riddle me this. Why do you do it? because Xtool isn't thankful. I couldn't give a rat's. But you keep doing it. Like, one of the first things that the people on the Facebook team, on the Facebook group mentioned is, oh, you should talk to your the person you got the demo with. I said, no, that person has their own life, has their own time frame. They're not getting paid in any way, shape, or form to help me. Why should I bother them with something that they didn't make and that they're not getting paid for to support? My first port of call whenever something breaks is the company themselves, because I've paid for a product. I expect support for that product. And it's not like it's cheap. It's a $2,500 item. And support from the company is non-existent. That is wrong. And if the product wasn't as good as it is, I'd get a refund. That's dodgy business practice, mate. I don't care what you say to the contrary. Like, okay, yes, if this person or these people that I got support from are getting paid, that's great. Then they should be classed as official support. But they're not. They're relegated. Helping people out via a Facebook group. That's like me buying a car, and when my car breaks, asking a florist for help to fix it. So how are we going to paint that one? Fairly standard, not alone room for creative things. Guess the scroll is a scroll, the skull is a skull. Fairly much. It's going to be all about weathering and lighting on this guy, I believe. So I've gone bone on the skull itself, with a touch of dark ivory and highlights to begin with, and straight dark ivory on our scroll. Now, the differentiating marks between these two are going to be, I have a nice contrast bone effect, which we're going to use on the bone, and we build up our tone across our parchment and then add a little bit of yellow. The French cost. I don't know if I could do that. I think the best I'm going to do is touch up some skittery lines to make it look like text. I don't know if you've seen my handwriting, but it's atrocious. And the smaller it is, the less legible it is. I could be a mongrel and write out the lyrics to Nasa Dormois, but I won't do that. Okay, so now we've got ivory. I'm going to start on the scroll. Just on the upper facing areas. So that way when we go over with our tints and so forth, it will break down the areas on the model. But yeah, so I finally got the X tool working. I'm just testing a couple of different things on it at the moment. I need to do the burns, the word etched into the base of Amanita Shaman. And I need to do it deep enough as to allow me to put the gold leaf in. That's part of the molding. There's a guy on Instagram who has built a working servo skull. Not just a light up servo skull that's 3D printed. No. It's got a full, not computer, but like a Arduino or Raspberry Pi or something embedded in it. It's got lights. It's got like an LED iris, so it sort of can display information and change and look around, and it's got motion sensors. It's voice activated. It's hooked into Internet of Things, and of course all the Warhammer nuts went crazy over it, and they all want one. And he said, I've been fielding a lot of messages and emails asking people how they can obtain one. And he said, if I'm going to do it, it's going to cost over $1,000 per item. And one of the comments rang true to me. It said, you don't know how much Warhammer people spend on awesome Warhammer products, do you? But yeah, having a servo skull that you can say, you say, hey servo skull, or whatever its name is. I could do that, absolutely. I've just had a message that I will most certainly do. I'll see if I can do it. Hey Weasel, how you going? Pretty sure I'll be able to pull that off. Okay, so now we need a little wee bit of white. Awake, officer. I know what you mean. I'm still recovering myself, so this is my first time painting since last stream. That's how sick I've been. Normally I'll do stuff over the weekends, but I was that sick that I just couldn't. Only through sheer spite that I'm sitting in front of you now. Willpower is strong, spite is stronger. I've been fighting David and Goliath battles. And winning. Gonna lightly age down our paper. Parchment, vellum in the Warhammer universe. And then we can add a touch of yellow, just to give our paper some depth. Let's dry this out right back. Okay, now I like to use so that looks papery now, but to give it some age, I add a little bit of this watered down. Now I use this particular ink because it is one of the only inks I've found that is completely and utterly transparent. It doesn't have the opacity that a lot of other inks have, and you just need the tiniest amount. There we go. So now with that tint, we'll just apply it quite wet, and it will settle much like a contrast across our model. And give us some age. We need to dry this again. I'll be right back. So, tiniest of yellow tints to our parchment now, making it look a bit more old. I'm going to add a bit more Agrax to the undersides of things, just to really weather it down. And then if we want to later on, when we get into the actual weathering phase, we can add a bit of black to that. It's going to go in with a watered down bit of ivory. Touch up our top area. with our mix of ivory and white to our edges. And we build up our skull just with ivory now, or skulls, plural. Concentrating the ivory on the upper surfaces. So we've got that nice gradient happening. And then when we add our contrast, it will add some, well, I don't say some, quite a bit of depth. So I'll dry that out, I'll be right back. And then, where is it hiding? There it is, right in front of me. He's reached a 20 stream streak. Holy crap. This been at 2006 more, and I could say I watched one stream a year since BC changed to AD. Nice, congratulations, and thank you for being here that much. That's pretty cool. Now, I like to go in heavy with this contrast, settle it in, and then hit it with some water, thin it down. Because as you can see, that's quite heavy. That's gone really, really dark. But you come in a bit of water. Makes him look manky. Dry this out and be right back. When it comes to stuff like that, I'm Overwatch. I'm the guy that sits back with the high-powered sniper rifle and picks people off. I've always been that way. I've always loved the aspect of sitting far away and going. Back in the day, there was a wee little game called Counter-Strike. It was an offshoot of a popular little ditty called Half-Life. And there was this one map. I think it was called Canyon or Gorge or something. And the invading team started in a car park that sort of went out between sort of a rock face, down an incline into another undercover car park type thing, where I don't even know what it was in there because I've never been in there. I don't know if it was a bomb. I don't know if it was hostages. I don't know what it was. But I would not leave the car park. I would find a spot just outside, up on a rock, that had full vantage of the opening of the rest of the car park. And my job was Overwatch. And I really, really enjoyed that and had lots of fun. And then my friends were like, "Oh, we're not playing that map because Justin just sits and snipes." I was, well, that's my job. So we played another map that had a sort of this section where it was like through a shanty town, and I just grabbed a P90 and loaded myself up and ran in guns blazing. They didn't like that either. So it just got to the point where we didn't play anymore because I kept owning people. And they didn't like that, so we started playing Enemy Territory when it came out. Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. Now that was fun. Who was that? Where was that? What was that? I don't know what that message was. The sniper rifle in Enemy Territory was lovely. I do believe Enemy Territory is still around in some aspect as well, which is pretty cool. Alright. So we're going to start on our medals now. As a teen, I played Conker's Bad Fur Day. Never very good at it, but I played 2 vs 2 capture the flag. The other 3 would be fun. You try something out, and I'd run the other base, grab the flag, and by the time I was halfway back, they would realize, where's Weasel? Conker's Bad Fur Day. Wow, I remember that game too. Now, just thinking for our metal, we'll start off with black metal. Or should I say, we'll start off with black metal. Okay. Ah. Good times only speak to one of those mates now. Barely he was out in Toowoomba. Yeah, I've lost contact with all of my friends. Chronic illness has a way of showing you who's going to be there and who's not, unfortunately. I don't really have any friends anymore. Like 1 or 2, but they're more acquaintances. Yeah. Yeah. Had a couple of them as well. Hey, Jet, how you going? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're painting servitor skulls. What you been up to? Good. Fell asleep after dinner and just woke up. Yeah, I have been quite ill. I'm recovering. Haven't been sleeping much. But hopefully I'm on the other side of that now. As cool as servo skulls are, they don't help out painting an army. There's lots of rumbling of vehicles outside. Not sure if it's something being reversed into place or picking something up or what. It's kind of annoying. Expecting your replacement pin. Yeah, I don't get me started on printers. It's been a battle. So I bought a replacement printer also, and ordered it on the 12th, got shipping information on the 17th, and it was meant to be, according to the docket, delivered today or yesterday. So yesterday I contacted AnyCubic. I'm going to call them out because I'm sick of the bull. And said, hi, just looking for an update on my printer. And they're like, oh yes, it's currently with Toll Logistics, and they've got it, and it's in Australia, and you should have it soon. I'm like, okay, it was meant to be delivered today. Oh, can I have your shipping information? Yep. Gave it to them. And it was found out that it wasn't in Australia. It was still at the warehouse, and it was on hold. Why is it on hold? Don't know. Well, you work for the support for the company that I bought it from. Find out. You know, do your job. It's at the warehouse. I said, right. What warehouse? Oh, the warehouse in China. Chat disconnects. Okay, so found out it's at the warehouse in China. Reconnected to the chat. Hi, looking for the whereabouts on my printer. I was just told by one of your support staff that it is on hold at the warehouse for some reason. No, it's not. I said, well, I've just received confirmation from one of your staff that it is. So I'd like to find out what the holdup is, please. Oh, it's not at the warehouse. It's on its way to you. It's currently with the shipping company Toll Logistics. That's so funny you should say that. I'm talking with Toll Logistics right now on another chat screen. They're telling me that it's not even in the country yet. Oh, but it's shipping from the AU warehouse. I said, that's all well and good for you to say that, but I can confirm from 2 sources that it's not. And showed them the shipping information that I had, and that it was still marked as not being picked up by the initial shipping company, and that shipping company is a international freight company out of China called 4PX. Well, that company doesn't exist. Funny, they've got a website. They've got offices all over mainland China and former Hong Kong and Beijing and all the rest. So when you load up their website and have a look at this particular tracking number, it's there. Oh, but it's not them. That's no, it doesn't exist. That's right. So after arguing with that person, catching them out in the live, showing them the information, lo and behold, that chat disconnects as well. So, third time, go through the rigmarole, show them the evidence. They then tell me again that 4PX doesn't exist, that it's not being shipped through them. I then show them the information to the contrary. And I said I've been in contact with Toll Logistics. They do not have package. It is not in Australia. So where is it? I can assure you that Toll Logistics has your package. So I rang Toll Logistics. Exactly. So I rang Toll Logistics, and I was on the phone to Toll Logistics while I was chatting with AnyCubic support. And Toll said, okay, they're pushing back about this, and they swear that we've got the package. Ask them for a copy of the manifest information with our driver's signature on it. It is your legal obligation, and they have to provide it if you ask for it. So I did that. Lo and behold, the chat disconnects again. And it doesn't reconnect. Whatever could be going on? Strange internet-based errors. So I sent an email, provided the evidence, and made a formal legal binding request for the manifest information. And said failure to do so will result in legal action, as is per my right by Australian consumer law, which it is. If I don't have the item that I ordered on the date in question, that it was meant to be here, then I have certain rights as a consumer under Australian consumer law, which I can use to get the information I request. And I know how Australian consumer law works. I've been on both sides of it multiple times. So when I wake up this morning and check my emails, lo and behold, the package that was supposedly at the Chinese warehouse on hold for some unknown reason, but not at the Chinese warehouse on hold, at toll, and shipped from the Australian warehouse, yada yada yada, bullcrap, 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 is in Sydney, just come off the freight, the international freight, from 4PX, the company that I said it was, and is in the process of getting picked up by toll. Funny how that works. Jump up and down, threaten legal action. Things start happening. I find toll pretty good for stuff. Like anything that I've had shipped through toll, because they're now Team Global Express. I haven't had any issues with, so. And they've come to the party on this to help me out, so. Like, I don't know anyone there, but yeah. I find it all the more, I find it happening more and more frequently, Weasel. It's one of those things that companies are continually trying to do as little as humanly possible for their clients and skate by. And I can't stand it and will not stand for it anymore. One of the things that I hate, and this is from being in the support service myself for a number of years, is if you are paid to do a job, you do the goddamn job. And if you don't do that job. Simple as that. Like, I pride myself on doing what I do. What I do. I'm sitting because I'm working on an army. Because someone has paid me to do a job. So I intend to do that job to the best of my ability. Because I have been paid to do so. And it really, really annoys me that people don't have the same mentality or work ethic anymore. Like, it's it's the autism speaking, but it physically pains me that people don't have a work ethic. Like, they turn up for their paycheck and they're done. Okay, yes, the company more than likely treats you like crap, but they're paying you. If they're paying you, not so much they own you, but you have an obligation to them to earn that pay. And if you're not going to at least attempt to do your job, then you shouldn't be working for them, because it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of their time, it's a waste of the client's time that's contacting you. Exactly. And unfortunately, it's happening more and more often because people don't jump up and down. And people don't go after these companies. Where's the computer? There it is. Like, I used to work for government, and there was one guy that worked for us that I could not stand. Like, our job, you start, you are in your seat working. The start of your shift, which was 7:30. That does not mean you come to work 5 minutes before work. Yeah. Like, you do not, under any circumstances, sit at your desk and from the time you are meant to start work, sit and eat breakfast. Yes, sit and eat breakfast for the next 15 to 20 minutes while everyone around you is working. I'm sorry, if I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can get to my job and be sitting at my desk ready to go by 7:30, you can get up half an hour earlier. Then everyone's like, oh, why don't you like this guy? Because he's a lazy bastard. That's why I don't like him. He skates by doing the least amount of work possible. And the annoying part was, he was one of those yes men. Oh yes, boss, absolutely, boss. Oh yes, great plan, boss. Oh yeah, fantastic. That's a great idea, boss. I'll do that right now. Yay! Fun, corporate, this, that. And he did nothing. And when he did do something, it was wrong. And I had to go back and fix it. He was a full-time employee. I was a contractor. So when I finally got the chance to become a full-time employee, I jumped at the opportunity. I've killed people for less. Like, he was a contractor, or I was a contractor. So when I finally did get full-time status, I went after him. I called him out every chance I got. I got pulled up by HR saying, "You're not a team player." I said, "No, I'm vocal about people not doing their job correctly. That doesn't make me not a team player. That makes me a team player who won't put up with other people's crap." If you do your job correctly, you got nothing to worry about. If you don't, so help me, I will end you. They put him on my team. They put him in my team, the mobile division, the mobile support division, as we were called. And first thing I did was said, right, this is how it's done. If it's not done this way, go find something else to do, and I will request that you formally be removed from my team. You do your job correctly, and you do it how it's laid out in the documentation, there won't be an issue. That lasted about 2 days. So he started not doing his job correctly as per the documentation. Like, everything you needed to know about what we did was written down. I know because I wrote it. And I went through trial and error for 3 years to come up with the documentation. So I knew that the only way to do it was the documentation's way. He then continually messed up. Like, by mess up, I mean like fireable, repeatable fireable offenses. But he never got reprimanded. So I called a meeting with HR, our department head, the head of IT, and the minister, and said, look, I have been working my butt off, both as a contractor and now as a full-time employee. And that entire time, I have been cleaning up his messes. I demand that he gets reprimanded, or I will be leaving, and I will be taking all of my documentation with me, and you can figure it out yourselves. And they said, "That's not very team player of you, Justin." I said, "Nor is arriving to work 5 minutes before you're due to start, then sitting down and having breakfast for the first 15 minutes of your shift." And he does it every day. That's when he turns up. He doesn't provide medical certificates. He doesn't provide any explanation as to where he's been. He takes 20 minutes longer on lunch every day than everybody else, then saunters in, finishing his lunch, after his lunch allotted time has ended. Oh, and what do? I arrive half an hour before my shift. I have a coffee that I've bought, started, and finished sitting on my desk, waiting to rinse out when I get a break. I eat my lunch at my desk and still do my job supervising and looking after other staff, as well as fixing his mistakes. And you've got the balls to accuse me of not doing my job correctly. So I've got the receipts on this. Hey, Mr. Pigments, how you going? Like, I've got receipts. I have kept tabs. I have a document that I started when he started pulling this crap, and nobody pulled him up on it. Hey, Chaos Minis. And Mr. Pigments is tired. Yeah, I'm right there with you, mate. Just talking about lazy people not doing their damn jobs correctly. And stuff only happening after someone kicks and screams. Was that Weasel? Yep, I think I might. I'll just finish this lens. Now, there's a second one in the back here, which I'm going to do as a scanning lens. Need some whiskey with that coffee. Is it Friday yet? It's not Friday. Hopefully, by Friday, I should have my printer. Only because I jumped up and down and screamed and provided receipts. I'm good at that. Do not cross me. I usually have paperwork. Need some coffee on that whiskey. Well, it is what time? 8 o'clock in the morning. Let me mark that off. I want to cross you. You don't seem like a vampire. Well, you are in a lair. I am in my lair. I am in my safe space where the world cannot touch me. And when it encroaches onto my sanity, then I bite. That's right, I was doing this reward request. Complete all. And back to chat. Hang on, I just got a message in the guild that I need to check up. Oh, okay. That's cool. If this was D&D, then you would have lair actions. See, I would not know this because I've never played D&D. Not properly. I've wanted to, not for lack of trying, but having a schedule of being sick tends to mess with stuff, i.e. your time frames are not other people's time frames, so on and so forth. Roll a d1 to take magic. If it automatically changes to of, why? I don't know. Don't know. Based on the previous usage of the keyboard. So is that why my my autocorrect constantly goes to shit instead of shot? Then you've got things to explain. Yeah, I'm dealing with the same thing, Grandma Kale as well. Funnily enough, there is a because I started a Critical Paint Reddit fairly recently. It keeps popping up with all these suggested channels, and because like lol and humor and stuff are some of the ones that I visit. It's come back with one of the channel suggestions as OnlyFans, and not OnlyFans as in the little blue logo. OnlyFans as in candid shots of random fans, like household fans, ceiling fans, ducting fans, computer fans. And it's quite funny. I must admit, it is funny. And I do find the humor in it. And it also is funny that when you search OnlyFans on Reddit, it is the top listing. Which I laugh my butt off at every time it pops. Now, I don't follow the account, but because I follow other humor-based accounts, it keeps popping up in my feeds. Reminds me of the two Facebook Catholics against seedless watermelons and seedless watermelons against Catholics. Now, if I was either of those things, I would be amused. But I am not a seedless watermelon, nor am I a Catholic. I am part of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. No, I'm not. I'm not anything. I am a firm believer that religion is a plot designed to subdue and incapacitate the masses. It's a control mechanism. Where's that gold? There it is. But yeah, I'm expecting my package to be here within the next 2 days after being missing since purchase. Right amount of jumping up and down will cause wonders. You should jump up and down, Jet. People say it's extreme, but it works every single time. I've yet to have it not work. I'm a nice person if you do the right thing. If you don't, you'll quickly find out that I can be not a nice person very, very quickly. Now, where is... There it is. This guy's coming along quite nice. I'm happy with where he's going. He's in focus there, isn't he? Yeah. Servo scars. And yet it keeps happening. Because I don't think we're doing enough. And by doing enough, I mean a certain fella named Luigi has the right idea. I mean, I'm not one to resort to violence or anything. But if it's the only way to get a response, then something needs to change. Because if that's the only thing that they're scared of, It's only when the people stand up and decide that enough is enough that these companies are ever going to change. Just go to the galaxy, the one where they all believe that the universe was created by accident, result of massive big sneezing. It should be wiped clean. That's a very not nihilistic. I don't want to say self-destructive either, but yeah, I get what you mean. I do get what you mean. Now I need a dark grey. Oh. No, first the first paint competition is in August, 16th and 17th. The next one is in November, and the next one, which is Crimson Brush, is in January of next year. Which, after having to deal with printers breaking and things, I now have to save up all of my funds all over again. Yeah, that was Guild's Inn. Unfortunately, it was go to Guild's Inn or go to Crimson, not both. I'm hoping to alternate per year. So do Crimson one year, do Guilds the next kind of thing. Because I can't afford to do both. I also still need to finish off 2 of my pieces. Not 2 of my pieces, 1 of my pieces. I finished one. I'm working on the final photos for it at the moment. And I'm learning how to use my laser etcher so I can do the other one. I'm hopefully going to get to a point where I can do that in the next day or 2, if all goes according to plan, which it very rarely does. I've not seen a model holder like the one you're using. Is it your own design? Oh, this guy. Well, I'll do a outward shot here. So this is a roll of duct tape, or 100-mile-an-hour tape, as it's known in Australia. Canvas-lined speed tape. Piece of melamine wood. A doorstop. So that's a doorstop there, and it's magnetized. The magnet is quite powerful on this one. So this is the bit that would sit on the back of your door. This is the bit that would sit on your wall, and it holds your door open. This is a button that is broken, like an actual clothing button, off an old jacket. Like it's huge, but it's broken, so I need to rebuild this. Can't rebuild it until I get my printer. Some green stuff, a potentiometer, like in my gaming handle, the ergo egg, and then you can put your red grass bits on top of that. The initial design I picked up was from a just a arts and crafts seller at the Queensland Model and Hobby Expo, which is QMHE, which is the first competition coming up in August this year. I then modified the design quite heavily. And by quite heavily, I mean completely started again. Because the old one broke and became rusty and the doorstop wasn't great. So I found a better quality doorstop. I found a piece of fiber-filled melamine, so it's a lot stronger. The next iteration is going to have a slightly larger flat plate here. I'm probably going to be printing that in 2 pieces so I can fit a potentiometer inside it. That way I can pop my red grass pieces on there quite happily. And this red grass piece, which I'll show you here, is one that I designed off the initial red grass handle. So it slots into my gaming handle like that and has the grip, so you've got full control over where you want it to be. So yeah, hardware store. Hardware store is your best friend. if you want, if anybody wants more information on it, actually, I can link the products that I use. They will be in Australia. The potentiometers you can get from Amazon. Green stuff you can get from Amazon. You could probably get the doorstops from Amazon as well, actually. I'll see. Let me write that down. Right. Plans for hobby holder. No problem at all. One of the things that that I have wanted to do with this is I prefer using it lifted up off the desk a bit, hence the duct tape underneath. Everything I make is cobbled together until I bolt down the design and formalize it. And I've got a friend of mine who does woodworking stuff, makes dice trays and sort of D&D related accessories. And I'm going to hit him up and we're going to work together and make this a thing. So don't know when, because the still waiting on printer, the Ergo Egg competitions, I'm quite busy, army. So yeah, I'll sit down with him. We'll bolt down the design and get a good, solid working prototype. In the base of this, I've also got a neodymium magnet, so it will stick to the red grass pucks that that my painting handle sticks to. Um, but I'm planning on sort of redesigning the whole thing. So watch this space. Yeah, that's right. We're doing those greys. But yeah, it's sort of been something that I've been working on absent-mindedly in the background of things for a while now. And I mainly use it when I'm streaming, because when I paint off screen, I'm using the ergo egg and my hands are moving constantly, and it's really hard to focus on small things. As you can see, this is the size of my hand in shot directly in front of the model. That's how small that model is. There's my thumb, and when you're zooming in this much, I would quite literally have to hold still and not move. But this way, I've got a marker on my desk, which is the smiley face, which is right there. That sits right there, which means it's in shot for the camera. So everything I do has a purpose. Prime example, I have also been waiting on my printer so I can print out a part for my laser etcher, so I can rearrange and reposition the extraction system on it, so I can then duct it and have it go to what was originally going to be out the door. But then I thought, I've got my the thing spray paint booth, which is directly behind me here. I'll go back to this shot. So that's my spray booth with my paper towel bits and pieces in it. My laser etcher is over there where my printers are. So my two resin printers are there, my laser etcher there, my cleaning station there, my UV Cura is up on a shelf up there. My photo booth is there, my printer will go there, my spray booth is here, my main computer is behind me. So it's all relatively within reach. The initial plan was, before my Trudon broke, that I was getting the M2 from Xtool, which is a lot smaller and would have fit on top of the printer, so it would have gone just there. Found out that the Xtool, that the M2 wouldn't work for my needs, so I got the S1. Getting the S1, I had to rearrange the office, well, part of the office. So I put in an extra shelf over there. The S2, which would essentially, if I put it on this desk, it would fill the entire desk. It's huge. S1, sorry, not S2. It's the M2 and the S1. This is the S1. So it needs extraction or exhaust ventilation because it produces smoke. And I'm in a house, there's smoke alarms. Don't want the smoke alarms to go off every time I crank up the laser etcher. So I got a friend of mine to 3D print a part, which I then put the existing exhaust tube in, found an adapter by repurposing some plumbing supplies, got a agricultural pipe that connects to that, makes a little arch. I've got a frame around my desk, so you can sort of see parts of it here. There, as you can see, which I've got all my lights and cameras and bits and pieces hanging off. So it goes from the laser etcher into the printed part, into the original pipe that comes with it, into this plumbing drainage thing, because I couldn't get a pipe the same size, which is 85 millimeters. I ended up going with a 65 millimeter pipe because that's all I could find. The other ones were too big or way too small. So I've then run that cable across the top of my frame here, down the desk, over, and made an attachment that hooks onto the back of my spray booth onto the main grill that sits directly over the fan. So the laser etcher, when it's doing its thing, it's got a little evac fan. It pushes through the pipe. That goes through the pipe this way, all the way over here. And then I've got an even stronger fan in my spray booth, which then sucks that out into this grey pipe out the window. So, yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. And I'm one mother of an inventor. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I do. And all of this is movable and pull-outable. It is my own design. It is from... It takes inspiration from a lot of sources. I like the architecture and the ecosphere that Redgrass has produced, but the handles themselves, I'll move this out of the way, are too small for my hand. So this is the Redgrass handle with some padded tape on it, which is quite springy and cushiony, but I have quite bad arthritis, and this is how much my hand closes around the piece. So it gets absorbed into my hand, and that after, well, even now, I've only held the thing for 30 seconds. My hand is starting to hurt. So I designed the egg Tacticalope? Tacticalope. That's a cool name. So I designed the egg because it rests in your hand. This is version 3.2, which has the textured outside, the curved off edges, which has been a response, or in response to the test units I've sent out. But you can sit it over your thumb, you put your finger through the middle, and you can put both fingers if you've got small enough hands. I am revising this again because while this is a perfect size for my hand, I have found people that have smaller hands. So I'm going to make two editions, a normal and a small. If I can get away with making one that is comfortable in both, I will do that, because a universal fit is going to be better than customizing it each and every time someone with different sized hands comes along. So the next iteration, once the printer arrives, is going to be slightly slimmer. It'll still have all the same features and bits and pieces and the same size bolts and everything, and the magnet in the bottom, which you can see hiding behind its little sheath there, the spinny potentiometer on top, the Redgrass compatible top. I'm from the Midwest, word sounds. Hope is weird. It's used in situations of I almost ran into you, almost passed something. I need to get. We have those. We have that one. It's called what? So I can understand uh the vocal stylings and dialectal differences. So you're in the Midwest, US. Whereabouts? What state are you in? I should say, because that would allow me to figure out. Ohio. So that would be, yeah, Midwestern. Um, let me break out my vocal stylings here for a moment and see if I can pull it off. Uh, so the only Midwesterner that I know of would be sort of from the Drew Carey show. So Drew Carey and Ryan Stiles, and their voices sort of got a slight drawl to it, but it would have tonal inflection that is escaping my mind at the moment. So you've got your East Back California. Then you got your New York, which is more nasally, more upper register. Southern has a little bit more of a lower drawl and sort of easing out of certain words. Midwestern would probably be something similar to that, I'm thinking. Would I be right in that assumption? Cantaloupe, ope, ope, ope. Yeah, that'd be it. That sounds about right. Am I close? Not really. Is because I haven't seen the Drew Carey show in a very long time, the only thing that I'm picking up from the register is the Presidents of the United States of America song, Cleveland Rocks. It's a weird gray area. But yeah, so Cleveland Rocks, and there's this bit at the end of the song where they all go, Ohio! So that's the only sort of differentiating thing that I can think of. But I might be there, I might be way off. But I have fun because I've worked in the backpacker industry for a very long time, and I generally pick up the tonal inflections in a lot of different places, and a lot of different dialects. And one of the ones that I picked up was sort of a not a Midlands British accent, a little bit more posh, sort of Northern London, that kind of thing. Flashback. Oh, I remember Mimi in a giant room in superb makeup. Yes, very much. But yeah, like picking up accents is and mimicking that stems from mimicking and picking up stuff as a kid. I used to watch a lot of television. It was my daycare, if you will, for when my mother was at work. So one of the fun things that I used to watch was a show called Trapdoor, which is about a blue plasticine blob named Burke, who looks after the thing upstairs, and he has Boney and Gert, which is a little spider friend, and he's got a very Midlands English accent. Oh, hello. And the guy that did the voice for him did most of the voices on the show. So you got different inflections of the different characters, but in the same tone. So, oh, where's my breakfast? Where's my breakfast? Oh, Ugly's in a mood today. Best get his breakfast going. Which is funny because the reason I was able to hang on to that accent so well is when I was working in the backpacker industry, we had this this girl come through. Well, I need to bring it up. I need to find it. Hang on. You'll love this. This is my favorite thing to do. I need to break into the voice. Hi ho. Hello, Kermit the Frog. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But if you are looking to negotiate, I can tell you that as an AI, oh, that's not the proper quote. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But if you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have any money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. Don't cross Kermit. Someone clip that. The character in Pathfinder right now who has a Jamaican dialect but is an attitude and demeanor of Karen and Stephen from Braveheart. The nutty, insane Irishman who helps Wallace. Very fun character to run with. Now that would be a difficult vocal tick to pull off. Jamaican is very, very flowy and emphasis on O's. E's are a little higher range. So you get to play a lot with the way things sound, man. I have to explain every single joke. One of the I used to spin people out working in backpacker hostels. We had this one girl who walked up to the bar, little thing, and I mean little. She was like 4 foot tall. She was tiny. Hello, I'd like a glass of red wine, please. You're really small. I know you're probably of age because you're an overseas traveler, but I need to see a form of identification, otherwise I'm not doing my job correctly. Oh, okay. She hands me a passport. Her name was Kate. And her passport said she was from Devon. Now, I know Devon is a Midlands accent. She was speaking in this posh, upper class, not upper class, but sort of mid to upper class Londoner accent, because that's who she was traveling with. And I said, okay, something doesn't sit right here. It seems that your passport says you're from Devon, but you don't have a Midlands accent. So I'm wondering if it's really you. And she said, oh God, please don't. I said, please don't what? And she said, don't make me do the accent. I've been working very, very hard for a very long time to get rid of it because people make fun of it. And I said, I think it's a beautiful accent. much like the Welsh accent. It's sort of it's got character and it's got style. Please don't make me do it. I leaned across the counter and I got right up in her face and I said, "Go on, dear, say farm for us." And she said, "Oh, you er." And she couldn't break it the rest of the time she was there. It was hilarious. Um, my friend, when he gets drunk, goes really dodgy Irish Scottish. I don't know why, because his family is neither of those things. Which is hilarious. But yeah, that's another story. But another one is one of the other bars I was working at. We had this mad Irishman. Speaking of mad Irishman, little fella, Seamus. Yes, well, his name was Sean, but everyone called him Seamus. Um, and he stayed with us for nearly a month. And I'm always wary because Irish people can go one of two ways. They can be an absolute riot or they can cause riots. So you've got to be very careful. So I had my eye on him. And this one night, at the back of the bar, because the bar we had was like a massive room. It was about the size of a basketball court, but it was completely sealed in, soundproof. The bar was in one corner. The toilets were sort of in a closed section off one wall. I know, that was a blast. I loved it. And all the Irish were put out, and they're like, "But, but that's our job. We're supposed to be the ones causing crack, causing problems." Um, and this guy was like standing right up the end of the room, and I was behind the bar, and he's like at the pool tables, and he's bouncing back and forwards, and I'm like, "Oh crap, he's gonna tie one on." And he's like, he's looking straight at me, and then he goes, points, legs it, runs straight down the room, over tables, like up on chairs, over tables, two tables between me and him, leaps at the bar, puts his hands down because he was a little fella as well, and he's swung over the bar, and he's right in my face while I'm pouring a jug of beer for someone. Scots do know how to have a good time. And he told me the best joke that I've ever heard that always gets me laughing no matter when I hear it. It is so stupid, but I can't help it. It's just the way my brain processes information. So I'm a very visual person. I will pick up um, visual cues, things like that, and all of my thoughts are in pictures and sort of narrated by Morgan Freeman, um, which is another story altogether. So he's bounded up. He's over the bar. He goes, "Three goldfish sitting in a tank." One turns to the other and says, "How the do you drive this thing?" And I'm pouring my beer. And I've gone, "Three goldfish, tank, there's the other." That was it. I was gone. I was absolutely gone. I had to sit down. I was laughing that hard. Because in my brain, it went, two goldfish. Goldfish. Sitting in a tank. Fishbowl. One turns to the other and says, "How the do you drive this thing?" And then the turret came down and the tracks came up and they were sitting in a tank. my brain just switched off. It was the funniest thing, and still is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, my other bar staff was sitting there wondering why I was sitting on the floor behind the bar, cry laughing for 10 minutes. And he's like, I've been watching you since I came in, or I've been watching you since I stayed with you, and I thought that that joke would break you. Because he was a funny guy, and he was always looking for levity and making fun of things and making light and having good humor. And he could see I was having a rough night because people weren't doing their damn jobs correctly. And he tried to break me. And he told me all these jokes, and yes, some of them were funny, but I was in a very, very bad mood. And that broke me. I was gone. Speaking of brains turning off, what the hell are you painting? I've been trying to give that shape meaning, and I don't know what it is. This is 2 servo skulls, or this first skull has an auto scribe, which is this little needle-like appendage here. He's writing on a scribe, and this is a notary servo skull in the background, who is recording the information and broadcasting the information. Oh, great. Stop yelling, Mum. I'm up. No, you're not. Go back to bed. That's an order. But, yeah. Anyway, getting back to dialects and vocals and talents and bits and pieces. As a child, I would look after myself, basically, because my mum was working, single mother, all that. So I would spend most of my time watching television, and therefore copying the things that I saw on the television, which is where I picked up Kermit, which is where I picked up Burke. But it progressed further in later years. And, I mean, I'm not great at Morgan Freeman, but I can pull off Morgan Freeman when needed. Morgan Freeman is sort of all about upper mouth registers and holding certain tonal inflections from that southern style voice. And the most notable one of those is, it was at that time he realized he up, which then leads you to get busy living or get busy dying. Finally got a Goofy, Gingerbread Man, Goofy, Gingerbread Man, Schoolboy, Shaggy, Pooh Bear, Down Pat, Scooby-Doo. Well, I can't do Winnie the Pooh properly because it's a raspy voice that I can never get the higher registers on. However, I can do a pretty good Tigger. Tigger is very much like the yellow M&M, which was played to great effect by J.K. Simmons. Just a lot slower without the slur. What's some other ones? You know, there's everybody on the planet does Christopher Walken to an extent. The problem is they always do the overacting side of it, as opposed to the subtle, more quiet side of Christopher Walken. But he's being very serious. And he gets that drop this voice. And then there's well, then there's Matthew McConaughey, who has got your Southern California drawl. CW Whisper Talk is poetry. Like, I can't. It's very difficult. That lower range. Same with Michael Caine, actually, because Michael Caine sounds like he's always got a cold. But younger Michael Caine is very high, very pointy in his representation, if you get my meaning. But older Michael Caine is a lot lower in the back of the throat and tends to have quite a bit more crackle in it. Mr. Wayne, I am recovering from a quite nasty head cold, so I can't push that crackle down as much as it needs to be. That guy is amazing. I don't know how he does that. I've been trying for years to do that, and I just can't pull off. How he does that is, there's a couple. There's one guy who's very Michael Kinison or Sam Kinison, I should say, in his ferocity in delivering his stuff, but he breaks into a Stephen Hawking, like, sort of, he'll be very loud, he's very abrupt, he's very full on, he does it, and then he breaks into Stephen Hawking, and it's perfect. And then he goes back to it like nothing, and I want to be able to pull that one off. It's one of those ones that you're like, oh my god, how did you do that? The actor who voices Crump. You're mocking me, aren't you? He's got a vocal break that, recovering from a cold and having honey and stuff, I can't pull off. Sometimes I can, but it doesn't get that register going. At the moment, my voice is screwed. But I'm currently listening to the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobook. And the guy that voices Carl sounds like, and like, figured this after a couple of minutes of listening to him, sounds like young Harrison Ford's tonal inflection, old Harrison Ford's jadedness with the world and not giving a crap anymore, doing a Patrick Warburton impression. That's what Carl sounds like in this book. And it's like, God damn it, Donut. Lost my voice and I can't on my reading my son's story. I like Optimus Prime. Wife even thought we were watching Transformers on my phone. I read the kid like 12 books that night. I was like, that went dark quickly, but concert makes more sense. Optimus Prime is it Alan Cumming? No, it's not Alan Cummings. That's the Scottish fella. What's something I can tell me something I can say in Optimus Prime that is something. Autobots, roll out. He's got that sort of rolled back resonance that is quite difficult to pull off. But yeah, once, like, I reckon a little bit of laryngitis will give you a good Optimus any day of the week. Whatever you say, just fade out to Linkin Park and it'll be spot on. Talk to text deceives us all. But when my voice is good, I can pull off a Miss Piggy. I used to be able to do a fairly decent Barack Obama. I have all kinds of respect for people who do voices. I sound like Michael Caine. Not a lot of people know. Now I'm going to read everything in a young Michael Caine voice. I sound just like Michael Caine. And that's the thing. You can't say Michael Caine. You've got to say Mike O'Kane. Because Michael Caine doesn't pronounce L's like normal people do. He uses O instead. So it sounds like I am Michael Caine. There was something I heard that what was it? If you say Spice Girls in a Scottish accent, or was it Spice Girls? Spice Girls. Space Schools. Space Schools, that's right. Space Schools in a Scottish accent. If you say Spice Girls, you'll get Space Schools. What's some other ones? I remember some of the ones that I've been able to do. Are you pondering? Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? Yeah, but how are we going to get the trousers on the monkey, bro? Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? Yeah, but then wouldn't they be called unhappy meals? Just Ural on the East Coast. It's over the top, but I like Andy Samberg's Mark Wahlberg impression. When he was doing that on Saturday Night Live, that was always fun. It was ridiculous and over the top. His Nicolas Cage is actually pretty good too. Sort of the stopping and the over flamboyance of everything. Film. It's yeah, there's I love accents and I love dialects and sort of different sounds. It's always been a joy. Like just confusing the crap out of people. I think, as an example, having a dog barking, but a dog barking quite a long way away. Mooing to cows really spins them out. They're like, what did he just call my mum? and like copying vocals and vocal styles, like Frank Sinatra, Bublé, Robbie Williams, Freddie Mercury. Best Scottish place to name is Mulgavi, pronounced Mulgai. Mulgai. My one Scottish accent always starts from and is always derived from Billy Connolly. But I know that I can't get the register for it right now. Because my voice is still messed up from this damn head cold. But when you break into it, can't wait for the Ogre More Tribes box. That looks cool. I did see that. That is definitely a very cool looking box set. Will I buy it? Probably not. Why? Because I don't have the money. That one. I think we're getting to a decent spot on this guy. I do need to fix up that little bit there. What accent across the pond has the harshest diction and most difficulty understanding, in your opinion? Well, as an Australian, one of the hardest ones to pick up and work and do like understand completely is any of the Indian-based languages, any of them, like Hindi, Pakistani, like all of those, that cadence that they have and the way they speak and the words that they use, it's very, very, like, it's really difficult to understand. I can understand just about anyone. I have real trouble understanding Indians. Which is hilarious because most of the support staff for companies, when you call in Australia, are Indians. And I think they do it on purpose. So you do have difficulty understanding the elements of the conversation. But like Europeans, Germans, no issue whatsoever. Bring an Indian into the mix, and it becomes very difficult to understand anything. That being said, one of the favorite Indian phrases that I've ever heard is that poor fella who's terrified to go bungee jumping. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. But yeah, I have real difficulty making head nor tail of Indian. Chinese is relatively straightforward. Same with Japanese. The French, you've just got to keep up. Same with Italians, you've got to get on the right rhythm and listen to the bounce in their words. Germans, depending on where they're from, so this counts for Germans, Swiss, and Dutch. Same with Austrian. Actually, Austrian falls into that category. Thai and Vietnamese, they have, well, Thai and Vietnamese are different. They have twangs, but they have twangs in different regions of the word. um, it's all about cadence and rhythm with a lot of languages, and it is with Indian as well. But they tend to flow a lot of words together, and it makes it very difficult to understand, to disseminate the different words being said. Oh, what's going on there? There we go. Um, but that's just me. I know other people that can understand quite happily. Have no problem with that. But for me, it is especially difficult to pick out. Now, I need, I need my stick. Where's my stick? There's my stick. So this is um, Sterling Battlemire that I have made some changes to. I've added a little bit of cocoa cure into it to make it more muddy. So I generally don't break out mud unless specifically asked and the client wanted a sort of muddy terrain. Hang on, what the hell? Give me a second here. Where is it? Someone's just rung the doorbell. Bear with me here. Is that live? That's live. So who rang the doorbell? Let's bet it was one of the kids. Yeah, it was one of the kids. Yeah. someone just knocked at the door, so I need to find out what's going on. But just go on break for a quick minute. I'll be right back. Just need to find out what's going on. Back in a minute. Oh, everything all right? I didn't hear you say sorry. All I heard was the doorbell. Bye. Where you going? Huh? Oh. Oh, good. It was an accidental press. Oh. So now tissue. Oh yeah, tissue. And just clean up around our edge. So that way, when it dries, we can then pop down our grasses. So next step. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the pen in question? There's one. Where's the other one? I usually have 2 pens, but the other one seems to have gone missing. Oh, we might have to hold off because I've got a black fine line marker and I've got a sepia fine line marker. And I use the sepia fine line marker for doing auto scribes with touches of black amongst them. So I'll have to find that. It must be over there somewhere. But that's essentially what our servo scribe looks like. I've got a little red tint, a little yellow, greenish tint from their eye monocles. And I'll just do the final point. Oh, come now. Same again on green. But we're almost at the end of today's stream, so making sure our points are all set. Our little studs have their adequate markings. I think our little servo skull is, well, servo scribe is almost completely finished. So I'll bring it up closer to the camera here. There we go. So I just need to do the grass and then the weathering. And yes, he's off to report to battle. Oh, and the text. I need to do the text. And there's one little bit that I need to do freehand on the text. I'll do that, actually. We'll do that right now while we've still got time. What time are we at? 7 minutes. The Emperor will be pleased. So I'm just wondering, I think I'm going to have to do it there. I'm going to have to do this upside down so the text actually matches in. So turn it this way. And I'll start off. Actually, that brush is too big. We'll go. Now, this brush that I'm using is a nail art brush. So it's got a very fine point. Now, I'll just drop this camera down. Whoops. Hang on. Need to bring that camera back. 2 seconds. Oh, there it is. I need to replace that cable. Just don't have the money to at the moment. So let me just check that. This is going to be fun. There we go. so that's and then I'll do the rest of the text as well. Move you back. Lyrics of the anthem. No, not gonna happen. It's gonna be little scribbles. because that's as small as I can write. That's like 2 millimeters tall. But with that, we are at 3 hours. So thank you all very much for hanging out. I don't even know who's on. I don't know if anyone's on, actually. Let me have a look and see. So 3 hours we were able to paint a servitor. Let me see who's on. Oh, we got a couple of people on, actually. Let me refresh that just to make 100% sure. We got Painty, we got Walters, we got Dr. Rhino, we got Crucial Blue, we got Sigsoff. Competition miniature painting. We'll drop in on Painty. Alrighty, so raid. See if we can get in before the ads start. Thank you all very much for hanging out with me today. I have been Justin. This has been Critical Paint Studios. I will catch you all again on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Hang out on the Discord. Hang out with me on Instagram. No problem at all, Jet. Have a wonderful time. We're going to drop in on Painty Paints, or 3P, as I call him. Then I'm going to take a post-stream break. And we're ready to roll. Catch us all later.